I did not say I would provide you emails that disappeared. If you have a magical way for me to do that, I'd be happy to know about it.
We have a problem with you, and you have a problem with maintaining your credibility.
What statutes have you evaluated?
I think you can rely on common sense that nothing I have seen...
Common sense. Instead of the criminal code, you want to rely on common sense. No, Mr. You can shake your head all you want to.
Deny, deny, deny. Welcome, everybody. I'm David Asman in for Neil Cavuto tonight. And the IRS and the White House saying that Lois Lerner's emails are long gone. And there was no funny business, but do you believe them? We went on the street to find out.
I find it very hard to believe that emails can go magically missing.
That just doesn't happen. It would be on their server. It would have to be something that they did on purpose.
How do you lose something in this day and age? It's 2014. Everything's electronically recorded. It's somewhere. They're putting it out. They're hiding it somewhere.
They can be archived, so I don't think it's possible to lose emails.
This is a very pathetic and weak excuse for what's going on.
And by the way, join the people. Use hashtag Cavuto to let us know where you stand. But tax attorney Lindsay Bolton says fears of a cover-up are justified. She joins us along with our Fox Biz All-Stars, including Scott Martin, Hadley Heath Manning, and Lauren Simonetti. Lindsay, first to you, and I want to put up a timeline if I can. This is a very important timeline showing that Lois Lerner's computer problems actually began after she got notice from Congress about targeting conservatives. That was on June 3rd when Chairman Kemp sent her the notice. Then on June 13th, 10 days later, Lerner reports that her hard drives have crashed. And then 2 years later, the IRS finally tells Congress. So isn't that evidence of obstruction of justice?
Yeah, you know, I think that the IRS and the commissioner are really working under this assumption right now that, you know, the American people are just ignorant enough to believe that, you know, communications between officials of the collection arm of the largest economic superpower on the globe can simply disappear because Ms. Lerner's hard drive crashed. You know, this is at least a little bit better than the possibility that they don't actually believe that we'll buy their story, but rather that they simply don't care if we buy their story.
But Scott, we already have enough information now based on that timeline I showed that it appears very clear that what Lois Lerner was doing was trying to destroy evidence after she got the note from Camp.
That's right, David, and I think it's definitely clear, and I think to the point being made, you know, thanks to a lot of this investigative reporting, the message is getting out there that this is not going to fly. Now, here's the issue, though, David. Let's just say, for example, these emails really are gone, right? Like, let's say there's a forensic investigation as deemed by the courts, right? And the emails really are gone. Like, somebody did find a way to get rid of them. That's a scary thought if you consider, David, that the IRS has millions and millions and millions of files on all of us.
That's right.
That suddenly could just disappear. Well, what if they lost Wesley Snipes' tax returns and all the money that stays owed to the IRS, and all of a sudden that stuff disappears? This sets a very slippery slope.
Well, that's a great point, but Lauren, let's stay on focus here and just deal with the Lois Lerner issue for the moment. By the way, the media is either ignoring the issue. NPR on Friday during the morning programs had nothing about the IRS hearings. The New York Times buries the story, and then some people actually get it dead wrong. The Daily Beast had a piece by a guy named Michael Tomasky which said unless Lois Lerner is clairvoyant, the idea that she deleted emails on June 13th to cover up behavior she didn't even learn about until June 29th is simply preposterous. In fact, she learned about it June 3rd, before the emails went missing. So people are either ignoring the story or getting it dead wrong.
They're covering it up also. I want to hear about an FBI investigation, a special prosecutor. There is criminal activity here that tampered with an election in our country. This is absolutely wrong. And as many people in the Man on the Street interview said, this just doesn't happen. It's 2014. There's so much backed up data. It's just convenient that the system crashes and the emails that we need went missing.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, Hadley, there are some Democrats who are complaining about this. Democratic Senator McCaskill has actually concerned herself with the issue and said that it is problematic that the head of the IRS seems to be covering something up.
Right. Well, it is problematic, especially for Democrats, because this reflects poorly on the entire Obama administration. Of course, I'll leave it to the lawyers to determine in a court of law whether real obstruction of justice is taking place, but you can hear it from the people on the street. In the court of public opinion, this reflects very poorly on the Obama White House.
Lindsay, a lot of people harken back to the Nixon administration, the cover-up that took place then, but at that time you had the entire media really investigating this story. You had both the media and investigators, prosecutors hired by independent prosecutors, et cetera, looking into the situation. Now the media is gone. I'm wondering if this story will ever be uncovered without the media at its tail. I mean, there are some people like us that are following it, but not many.
Right. Right. You know, the thing is that it really is in their best interest to go ahead and cover this and figure out what's going on. You know, right now we're looking at conservative groups and Tea Party groups who were targeted. That's right now. This is setting a really dangerous precedent, and liberals should be screaming about it. Libertarians should be screaming about it. I mean, we are. Libertarians are. But everyone, you know, it's happening strictly to the conservatives.
Whoops, we lost Lindsay, but I want to go to Scott Martin, if I can, and just talk about another side issue here. The IRS guy paints himself, the current IRS commissioner, as sort of this independent observer of all this, as a dedicated public servant. In fact, he's a big-time Democratic contributor. Both he and his wife have contributed over $100,000 to Democrats over the years, and independents, but primarily Democrats.
Yeah, David, you know, that's the tough thing. Is anybody who steps into this mess pool, if you will, is going to try to be, I guess, distanced from it. But the reality is they just become part of the cover-up. I mean, it's no coincidence that in any of these scandals that we've had where the next person to step in does have some skin in the game with regards to some appeal to, let's say, what happened. So, listen, you know, when you think about the IRS as you're sitting there at home, they aren't exactly that warm and fuzzy organization. So if they get away with this, if this goes by the wayside without any prosecution, David, I think that really bears it to this big overseeing organization that nobody can touch.
Lauren, do you think they're going to get away with it?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's criminal.
Hadley, you think they'll get away with it quickly?
Yes. They've gotten away with a lot.
I do too.
I mean, this administration has gotten away with a lot.
2 out of 3 people think they will get away with it. Well, I'm gonna say no, just so we're tied on this issue.
Thanks.
Guys, thank you very much. Let's